Obsessive-Compulsive disorder, more commonly known as OCD. Most people think that OCD is just where people feel the need to constantly wash their hands or keep everything organized. Sure, that may be a part of OCD for some people, but it's a lot worse than that. So, let's start at the beginning of the day. I wake up, I need to check my phone. On, off, on, off, on, off. Once I get up, I need to pat certain objects. Pat, 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 pat. OCD makes it hard to leave the house. Or even leave the room. Did I turn off the lights? Did I turn off my computer? Did I adjust the pile of books on the floor? Did I shut the window blinds? I know I did, but I still have to go back and check again, and again, and again. Otherwise, my brain will keep on telling me that something bad is going to happen. My brain likes to make things harder for me. Simple things that should be easy. For example, writing a sentence. This has gotten so hard for me that there have been times where it has taken an hour to write one sentence. It's almost impossible to write one word without erasing and rewriting it. Now, let's suppose I'm sitting at a table with a friend. As the conversation goes on, I realize I've said a word a certain number of times and I don't like that number. Then I have to keep whispering that word to myself over and over again until it reaches a number that is okay in my mind. Then, while this friend is talking, I shake my hand or tap my finger or do some other movement for each and every word or syllable that person says. Now we get up from our seats to go somewhere else. But once we are at a point far away from the chairs, I realize that I didn't pat the chair a certain number of times. But it would look weird if I just went back to pat the chair. So I make an excuse. I pretend I dropped something. I go back, pretend to pick up that thing I dropped, and I subtly pat the chair. OCD can also affect your relationship with food. I'm hungry, but it's not time yet. I can't go get a snack. I have to wait 4 more hours. This is because my mind creates rules. Most of these rules I'm not allowed to tell because, well, that's another rule. These rules set the standards for how each ritual should be done. Now let's move on to intrusive thoughts. These thoughts are the main reason why I do all of these rituals. If I don't adjust this, my head is going to explode. I buckled my seatbelt, but if I don't unbuckle it and buckle it again in the next 3 seconds, my whole family will die. But then I also have thoughts. Well, more like urges to do things, like jump into the driver's seat of the car and drive the car into a tree, cut everything around me, jump off of a really high place. But then I wonder, am I really capable of doing things like this? And I don't do them, but I wonder, what if I had? I shouldn't have to stop myself from doing these things because I shouldn't be thinking them in the first place. But it scares me how my mind makes me think these things. My mind is always against me. The rituals are almost a coping method to prevent me from thinking of these things. The more these thoughts happen, new rituals start to form. They just keep piling on top of each other. And I know these rituals are very stupid and nothing bad will happen if I don't do them. These thoughts will only pile on top of each other and my anxiety will only increase the longer I stop myself from doing these rituals. I always end up doing them in the end, even if I manage to stop myself for a few seconds. No matter how much I would like to stop, I can't stop. It honestly scares me how much I can't control myself.